house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. I've been practicing this speech a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Big Easy Bets podcast. I'm your host, Logan, and with me in the studio, Nick Von Brick.
Yo.
This is episode 219. We are on to the Elite Eight. The Sweet 16 has come and gone. We will recap that and then give you our best bets going forward. It has been a bit of a struggle the last couple days. We gave a little bit back. We were off to a red-hot start, and then on the unfortunate side of some incredible shooting performances, basically, is what it boils down to. But we're going to try to get back on track here with the Elite Eight. Hit the like and subscribe button if you don't mind. Episode 219. Look, I said it in the beginning. A chalky tournament means you're going to get some good games in the later rounds, and that's what we have gotten. And we've got some big-time matchups coming up. So this will be a relatively shorter episode. We're going to get right to the picks. It's Saturday morning, bright and early. So first tip today is what, like 6, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. As far as our bracket challenge, I have one bracket still in play. We've got the Texas Tech futures bet still alive. We'll recap that game here in a second. We've got multiple different avenues to make some money. So I'm feeling good and ready to get to it. So Thursday, just a quick recap. We had Florida play Maryland. Florida handled Maryland. Maryland hung tough there for a little while, and then Florida turned it on late. I don't know if you have any takeaways from these specifically, but Duke and Arizona was incredibly frustrating because Duke was up 19 points, and then I don't even know how Arizona clawed back into that game because honestly the officiating seemed to be kind of pro-Duke, which should surprise nobody. But they shot the ball ridiculously well from the three-point line. So I felt like Duke was never in danger of losing that game.
Yeah.
And you have a 19-point lead. I thought that they would coast from there, but like maintain right around that, but certainly cover 9 points is what we gave it out at. I had 7.5. And they win by 7. BYU, Alabama. This was like the most just disappointing game to watch. Every single shot Alabama put up went in. It was a historic shooting performance, the best shooting performance in the history of the tournament. BYU, I was texting you about it, pulling my hair out of my head. Why do you go zone?
Yeah.
What do you go zone for? If you're going to go zone and force them to shoot, you eventually have to go out of it, right? You got to switch it up.
Yeah.
Or did you have zero faith that you could guard them man to man? I guess. But they set the fucking record. A record that like might not ever be broken. They shot it so well in so many threes.
Yeah, what a record that stood for 35 years.
Yeah. Mark Sears set the individual record, I think. And don't get me wrong, it was a lot of like ridiculous shot making, but there was also a lot of going under. They were screening the zone and they were going under the screen. Stop going under. 3 is more than 2. The announcers were telling you the recipe. They want to hit 40% of the threes because they don't think that you can hit 60% of your 2s. And the math is going to add up to where they're going to win.
Yeah, if you would have told me we were going to get 88 points from BYU, I would have said, oh, we got a winner.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy.
113 from Alabama.
An unbelievable shooting performance. They were 25 of 51. 25 of 51. You had 34 points from Mark Sears, who was 10 of 16. But Youngblood gave you 19. Holloway gave you 23. A frustrating one, to say the least. It is what it is. And then we ended that night. We ended Thursday with Arkansas, Texas Tech. Texas Tech did not cover. They had a chance there in overtime. Up 3 with like 2 minutes to go. It was... And I'm going to be honest, my brain was so pro just Texas Tech winning that I didn't even put a thought into like, oh, they might cover. Like I was like living and dying by every possession. And then after the fact. I was like, holy shit. It was like, it could have been right there.
Yeah.
They certainly could have covered that number. If you listen to me throughout the daily plays that I gave in the months leading up to the tournament, you would have heard me multiple times say I can, and in the conference tournaments as well. You would have heard me say how I cannot believe the ability of Arkansas to blow a lead. I watched them blow 20-plus point leads multiple times. I was in a doctor's appointment with our baby doing a damn ultrasound as I'm watching them blow a 20-point lead on my phone. I saw it too many different times, and that's what you got here. Arkansas went cold. They blew a 16-point lead. They had a 13-point lead with like 5 minutes to go, and then they go cold. It's remarkable because this was the perfect recipe for success for Arkansas, whereas they couldn't miss in the beginning. Texas Tech couldn't buy a bucket, and they jumped out to a big lead. But then you gotta give credit to the Red Raiders. It's remarkable. It all turned in the one possession that was kind of going viral on Twitter, where they got like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds in one single possession. And Federico just went to work on the fucking boards, and he doesn't get enough credit. That only cut it to like an 11-point game. It wasn't like that was the start of the run to get back in. But if they don't put that effort on the glass and Arkansas just secures the rebound, it's like they could have rolled over and died, basically, is what that means. And they did not. They laced them up and went to work. And then Williams had a really tough game shooting from the floor until it mattered most, and it was winning time. And same thing, Toppin, the length of Arkansas really bothered Toppin until it was fucking winning time. And then all of a sudden he's 2 feet in the lane, and the little jumpers, the little one-handed over-the-shoulder baby hooks, whatever you want to call them, now they're falling. Christian Anderson couldn't hit a shot all game until it fucking mattered most, and he hit 2, nearly 3 in a row, just gigantic threes to keep them in the game, and then will them to victory. Williams rattles in basically the game-tying 3, and then he just puts the team on his back and goes down there, gets the game-winning bucket. And it's remarkable. Calipari, this is what he's known for. Great recruiter. He's going to load the team up with 5 stars, but when it comes down to making good coaching decisions, we've seen him time and time again not do it. And I was on record saying that this was arguably Cal's best coaching performance given the circumstances of losing Boogie Flan, losing Adu Thero. Completely different situation in your first season with Arkansas. But how do you not call a timeout? Because not only was it like, okay, like you're going to let them play, but it's not like, okay, they know what we're doing and we're going to play for one shot. It was like they were completely disjointed. People are jumping up and down, throwing their hands around. Wagner's looking at him and then looking back and then scrambles, ends up settling for a fadeaway mid-range jump shot. Literally the worst shot given the circumstances of you're down 2. You either shoot the 3 for the win or you attack the basket. And Cal just took a timeout home with him.
Yeah, he does a bunch of stupid stuff.
Yeah. No, his explanation of why
he purposely would try to miss
the free throw, yeah. Literally the dumbest fucking thing ever. You're up 3 at the line with seconds, and you want him to miss that. Why? To give them a chance to win?
Yeah, he's like,
because you could give them no chance.
He's like, they basically have no time to get a shot up. It's like, okay, well, if you hit it and go up 4, they have no shot of beating you with 1 second.
If they don't have a time to get a shot up, then they definitely don't have time to get a shot up, make it, steal it, get another one up, and fucking make that one too. No, that's one of those where like their egos are so big, so they can't just be like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Now that y'all make it blatantly obvious, he's got to like, nah, just trust me, I do things unconventional. It's like, yeah, that's why we keep seeing these late game situations where you fuck up.
But I've heard announcers in that situation say, oh, do you miss this one on purpose? It's like, no. If you're up 3, you never miss on purpose.
If it's like a half a second, sure. Like if it's
why?
No, yeah.
You're still leaving like
exactly. There's no logic. There's no logic.
If you go up 4, you have 0 chance to lose.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like I can understand like, yeah, no, there is literally no logic. But yeah, if it's like 0.3 of a second. Like you can't physically get a shot off. But yeah, just make it, and then literally
or if you don't
crazy
make it,
can
then
happen.
your stupid idea came to fruition anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, it's crazy, but yeah, it was a very good coaching performance from Coach Cal throughout this season. But in crunch time, my God, call a timeout, draw up a play. I'm glad you didn't, because we're on Texas Tech 35-1, as I've said many times. But Wagner was completely out of sorts, and he just let him go. And it was kind of a perfect example of Coach Cal's going to recruit. He's going to put good players on the floor, and he's relying on those players to go make plays to a fault sometimes. So Friday, we had Michigan and Auburn. This was last night. Michigan and Auburn. Michigan was controlling this game up until the 12-minute mark in the second half, and then Auburn turned it on. And I mean, turned it on to the point of Denver Jones and Tahad Pettiford just put on an absolute fucking show. A show. Like, hitting from the parking lot, hitting hesitation dribbles on the big men and just fucking freezing them. It was like they were having fun. They all of a sudden, they just flipped the switch, and that's the Auburn team that I've been waiting to see, of like, okay, they can beat anyone at that point. Janai Broome got in foul trouble, and that kind of gave the green light for like, okay, these guys can go ahead and take us home, basically, and they did. It was super impressive. Chad Baker-Mazara I was literally like laughing out loud as like, he's just a fool, and like his mannerisms and they're all like, they all individually hit a shot and were like, I'm like that. Like, they were talking so much shit to him. And then there was one point where Pettiford got fouled on the floor, and he went in and did like an up and, I don't know if you were watching the game, but he went in and did like this up and under layup. It didn't count. And he made like this fake, like it ended up going in, and it was a nice shot. But him and like Baker-Mazara off to the side, like dapping up and shit. Like, it didn't count. He was just saying like that was a nasty layup. Like, they were having fun and like did not give a fuck. They flipped the switch and poured it on Michigan. They won by 13. They covered the number. That was the Auburn team I've been waiting to see, and it's the perfect example of like, they're so volatile where Baker-Mazara is going to pout, or he's going to be like, he's going to pout and hit somebody in the head intentionally, or he's going to like be the ultimate like rah pump the team up type of guy. And that was another one. They called it on the floor right before he shot a jump shot. He shot it and made it, and he like turned to the crowd. He reminds me of like KD Johnson with Auburn. He turned and he's like screaming at the crowd like he hit the fucking game winner. It's like, it's on the floor. They got to inbound the ball. Yeah, it was a good run for Michigan, but yeah, this Auburn team, I mean, like I said, they turned it on. After that, it was Purdue. No, I'm sorry. Actually, we started it off with Ole Miss and Michigan State. I don't know why this is out of order here. Michigan State battled back. Ole Miss was winning this game for the absolute majority of the game. We gave you Michigan State -2.5. I hope you took it, because it was funny. I was watching the game with my wife, and we're at the line to make it a 6-point game. And I told her, I was like, this is literally the most critical free throw of all time for us right now. And she's like, why? There's only so many seconds left. I said, I guarantee you the next shot will go in. 100%. 100 out of 100 times. If he misses this free throw, this next shot is going to go in, and it's going to kill us. And we're going to win by 2. We're not going to cover. We're going to miss by half point. Well, he made the free throw, and the guy came down, threw up an absolute brick. It sits on the back of the rim, and then it falls in. Ole Miss, if you got them +3.5, you covered the number. If you took the Spartans -2.5, like we told you, that was available for a couple days. Poor Bam, producer Bam, haven't seen him in a minute. He had 3.5. He said, "What the fucking fuck?"
Yeah, the way it hit, that shot should never go in. The way it hit,
it just
between
hit
the back of the rim
perfectly to just
and the backboard.
Yeah, it hit perfectly just to sit right there. I was very impressed with Michigan State in the sense of they've done what I've been saying they do, where they just hang around, and then they blitz you. Akins and Richardson will hit a 3 back-to-back, and then they just squeeze you on defense. That's exactly what they did. They got out, they started running a little bit, and really turned it on. So it in reality, should have been. It wasn't a one-possession game. Michigan State was up 6, and then prayer 3 from Ole Miss absolutely just fucking brutalized a lot of people, but the next one, Kentucky and Tennessee. This was the most I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. We had over 144.5. Fast forward, and I'm going to be honest, it was not looking good. And then they poured in a couple threes there at the end. We're sitting at 143 with about a minute 10 left. So you're looking at 2 guaranteed, maybe 3 possessions. It was like a 13-point game. So you're going to – it was definitely a 13-point game. Mark Pope is a really good coach, and he's done an incredible job this year. But Mark Pope, I fucking hate the rollover and like, all right, throw in – I hate it when I have the over. Go fucking foul him and send him to the free throw line, especially when it's 1-1 and you could maybe miss the front end. It's not double bonus yet. Go fucking foul him and hope they miss the first one.
Yeah, it was the strangest thing. They were fouling, and then Kentucky hits the 3.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, shit.
That's what you need. Yeah, you need that little like, okay, we're kind of back.
With a minute left, and then you think, okay, they're going to probably either try to steal or if they don't get the steal, foul. And then they don't. And, yeah, not even to get a shot up in that final minute from either team.
Yeah, a minute and 10 seconds. And neither
Clark had the fucking layup.
And they tried to, though. Like, they were throwing it cross court to, like.
Yeah, Kentucky
They
was
weren't
trying.
just sitting on it. But Tennessee threw one down to him right under the goal. That they threw one down to a guy that was basically wide open. And it looked like, Ziegler. And it looked like he was about to run. I was like, oh, and then but then he peeled off. But then they ran.
He turned it over.
Yes.
And then Kentucky tried to throw it across the court.
Oh, my God.
And then that's when Tennessee got it with under 20 seconds left, and everybody just dribbled it out.
This was right after Michigan State battled back, covered the number. I'm feeling good. Like I was like, okay, because we had a brutal day the day before. Unfortunate situation with Duke not covering, and just some unfortunate luck. And then I'm like, there we fucking go. I was like, we got Michigan State. We're battling back. And Tennessee and Kentucky, they're right there. You need one more fucking bucket. And I always remember I remember Williams fucking driving down the lane about to go dunk it, and he gets it knocked off his knee. People will tell you, like, oh, it's just one possession. Every fucking single possession matters. Every one. One more bucket, and we fucking get that over. And it was funny because I texted you, Tennessee was pushing the pace. Tennessee put up nearly 80 points. Where the fuck was Kentucky? I understand what Tennessee can do defensively. I get it. But I was getting so sick and tired of seeing Williams. I understand he gets a ton of assists for a big man and this and that. Who gives a fuck? Backing him down and just sitting there dribbling, fucking wasting the shot clock. It's like, dude, y'all are down. Fucking Butler walking the ball up. No urgency. It was very frustrating. And then we had Purdue and Houston. I got to say, I was wrong. I bet Houston. I thought Houston was going to smash them here. Purdue, I don't even know how. Like, I really don't. I don't know how this went the way that it did. Of course, fucking Fletcher Lawyer goes for fucking 16 points. Houston did not shoot it well from the floor. They shot it better from the three-point line than they did from the floor. So you got to give Purdue credit there. I don't know where this Purdue's defense has been all year because they have been very porous on the defensive side of the ball, but they held Houston to 62 points. Houston held them to 60. There was an opportunity here in the second half where Houston went up, I think, 10 points, and it was like, okay, they might run away with this now. Like you would expect, they clamped down on the defensive end. It was not. It was like the worst defensive performance that you only allow 60 points that I've ever seen. So that's kind of a credit to Houston and how good they are defensively because they still held them to 60, but it was uncharacteristic mistakes from Houston, and I don't know. I was really scratching my head on how this ended up where it did. But shout out to Kelvin Sampson on an incredible out-of-bounds play. Draw it up out of a timeout, to get it right back to the inbounder for Uzan, easy bucket. Uzan, I've been saying it, he's the X factor for Houston. He's got to show up if he can because Cryer didn't. Cryer was an absolute no-show in the biggest game of the season. But Uzan led the team in scoring. I think he had, 22? Yeah, 22 on 8 of 17 shooting and the game winner. So Houston is on to the Elite Eight. Like I said, we gave some back in the Elite Eight. Or in the Sweet 16, sorry. We're going to try to get back on track. 4 games. We'll start it with Saturday today. Texas Tech and Florida. Are you on it?
Yeah.
Which way are you going?
I'm going Tech.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck.
Okay.
Well, so, look, the story for Texas Tech has been they haven't been able to hit the 3 in the tournament. Over the season, they were 42nd nationally in three-point field goal percentage, knocking down 36.7% of their three-point attempts. In the tournament, they're only hitting at 25%. The biggest question here is McMillan coming back or no?
I don't think. I don't know. If you couldn't go yesterday or 2 days ago, how are you going to go now?
Do you think they were overlooking Arkansas a little bit? Like, okay, we're not playing a top team now.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
The reports is he's been a game time decision the entire tournament.
Yeah, so
there was a report before the first round that he was probable to go.
I know. I thought for sure he was. And I told you, I thought the Edu Thero was kind of like strategic, like, yeah, he's going to play. And he did get in a little bit. He didn't do much of anything. But I thought that was more smoke and mirror, and Chance McMillan was going to go. So, yeah, obviously everyone knows now I'm very deep into the Texas Tech side of things. I hope Texas Tech wins the national championship more than anything fucking ever. But they are not going to do it without Chance McMillan. And so from what I was reading was, actually I heard from Grant McCaslin in the press conference where they expected McMillan to dress out and they were expecting him to give it a go last game. And what capacity that was, they didn't know exactly. But then he showed up in street clothes and was like, I can't. So he didn't even go through a warm-up. They thought for sure he was going to go because he had been going through a warm-up. They had footage of him shooting the day before in practice. It's a weird situation. I really don't understand. I don't know how you don't give it a shot. It's an oblique injury, and I've seen people say, like, he tore it, and then I've seen people say otherwise. No one fucking knows. But if you couldn't even give it a remote chance against Arkansas, like, I don't think they were looking past them. This is an Arkansas team. They beat Kansas. They beat St. John's. So at this point in time, you're not like, it's do or die. And you've got a lot of talent on that side, and they gave them a fucking run for their money and probably should have beat them. But if you couldn't even give it a chance, if I'm betting on it, which we are, I don't think he's going to play. I think he's done for the tournament. So if he does play, it just opens up so much. He's a 46%. It might have dropped a little bit, but at one point he was 46% for the majority of the season. He spaces the floor so well, second leading scorer on the team. He opens things up or third, whatever. He opens things up for Toppin, and that's the problem. The first game they were hitting threes. Kerwin Walton hit 8 threes the first game. That has gone away in a hurry. Christian Anderson has been struggling big time, but he got it going there when it mattered most late. So hopefully that will hopefully that's a precursor of what's to come, and we're going to see Christian Anderson hitting some shots. Williams is going to shoot them. He's not hitting them at a high clip, but hit the big one. I get it. I'm going to be honest. I was considering laying it with Florida here only because I don't know. We saw the length give Toppin trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Florida's got a ton of length. Toppin's very good. But they've got a revolving door of bigs. They rebound the ball well. And with Texas Tech not shooting the ball well at all, it doesn't instill confidence in me. You know, you would like to think they were a very good three-point shooting team. You would think that, okay, you've weathered the storm of poor shooting. They're going to start falling, and you saw it there late at the end of that game. Anderson got him in. They hit the 3 to tie. Like, I think they probably hit 4 out of 5 down the stretch. But can you do it against Florida? I will say, of all the 1 seeds, I felt like Florida was the most vulnerable. I was in the minority there. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that Florida defense on paper statistically is very good, but I think that there are some issues.
Yeah, McMillan's, at least he's still doing his NIL partnerships.
Yeah, I know.
He's excited about the Elite Eight. I don't know if he'll play. Was in treatment till 2:30 this morning in an attempt to play tomorrow.
Okay. I'm also biased. I have them 35-1. I want them to win very, very bad. But
you can't keep doing all these partnerships if you're not going to play.
Well, the whole team did it. Like, I saw Toppin and Williams, they posted the same thing.
What?
The commercial.
What commercial?
Oh, well, they did a commercial.
Oh, he's got a bunch of partnerships.
Yeah.
He's getting people TurboTax.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah. So why do you like Tech? Because you were big on Florida. You were way bigger on Florida than I was.
Yeah, just like I think it opened around 6.5.
Mm-hmm. It's still around
a little bit.
What do you see?
I see a lot of 7s.
Oh, okay. Do you? Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, there's 7.5 actually. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of lean the other way. Like, I don't know. Maybe he has hurt more than they thought, and that's why he's not playing.
No, I think he is. He is. Because you can tell by McCaslin, he was like, I thought he was going to go. And then he came in and said, I can't. At this point, if you're not, like, what are you doing? He's got to be. If he's not playing at this point. Y'all were literally just down fucking 16 points with like 10 minutes to go. So if he doesn't play this game, well, one, he won't get another chance. But he ain't playing. Even if they win, he ain't coming back, I don't think.
Well, I mean, you have a lot more time between now and the Final Four.
I just don't. How bad? If it's that bad, though, like, I don't know. It's not a team I want to fade, obviously. I'm high on Texas Tech. They never give up. They fucking play super hard, and they have guys. They just have not been playing well. So is this the game that they get it going? I fucking hope. What are you thinking? You going with them?
Yeah, we'll go Texas Tech plus 7.5 minus 115.
Okay. I'm staying away. I'm going to ride. I hope they win. I'm not going to. I don't know.
Maybe they continue to struggle shooting the three, and then they can't score at the basket either because Florida's too big, but that would suck.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even without McMillan, they still have guys that can shoot. They're just not hitting.
Mm-hmm. Christian Anderson has the ability. He poured in. I think he had like 22 points. He fucking put the team on his back when they needed it. Hawkins played like dog shit. If he could shoot it even remotely better. They just need people to hit a couple shots and space the floor because Toppin, even against size, Toppin can go to work. But when you collapse and condense the floor in the paint, it's a struggle. So, all right, second game, Alabama-Duke. Let's see what numbers we're looking at here. 7's the best number. I'm laying it with Duke. I'm laying 7 points. I've bet Duke every single game of the tournament. I'm probably going to bet them every game going forward. This team, I understand they let Arizona get back into it. Arizona shot an unrealistic number from the three-point line for their percentage. Alabama just set the record for three-point shooting. Watch the difference. So you're going to see a lot of people hop on Bama. Look at what they just did last game. Watch what they do this game. Watch the emphasis on guarding the perimeter from Duke. And I will be shocked if Alabama has a good shooting night from the three-point line. And defensively, I don't think they have any answers. So Aiden Holloway is a liability in defense in coverage on the defensive side of the ball. This Duke team is far and away the best team in the country. We've seen it each game. They let Arizona back into single digits, but they were never in danger of losing that game. The length that they have at every single position is just too much. So I think that they're going to be able to condense the floor, make things difficult in the paint, and while simultaneously still be able to guard the perimeter. I'm laying 7 points with Duke, and I don't think I will fade this Duke team at all this year. So you going Bama?
No, but we're going to do a little bit of double dipping here. I'm going under 175. You mentioned a lot of the things that I'm touching on as well. Alabama, 25 threes made last game. Now they match up against the nation's number one defense for longest average possession length and the number one defense in effective field goal percentage and the number two 2-point defense. Just Duke has too much length here.
Yeah. On
the perimeter and at the basket, Alabama's going to have to be really hot here. Again, if they want a chance to cover or win. the only thing that really worries you is if Duke just puts up a ton of points against Alabama. But I kind of think Duke here can slow down the pace Alabama offensively, and we'll finally get an Alabama under to hit.
Yeah, I'll take it as well. What number do you have?
175.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take it as well. Yeah, I think it's in your best interest to not run with the team that wants to run faster than anybody else. It's easier to slow a team down than speed a team up. I've said it many times. Yeah, this opened at 161, I think. This opened at FanDuel at 161 and immediately got bet up by like 10 points. So I think it's run out a little too high. Yeah, I'm in agreement. So I'll go under 175 as well. I'm going to lay 7 points with Duke. We go to Sunday, Tennessee and Houston. Houston's laying 3.5. Are you on this one?
I don't think so.
Okay, I think I'm going to take Tennessee here. I really like Houston quite a bit. I don't know why Tennessee's playing their best basketball at the right time. Houston is not, basically. These are two extremely similar style teams, two of the slowest teams in the country, two of the best defenses in the country. I just think over 3.5, I got to take it with the Volunteers here. Zakai Ziegler's playing great. They just match up very well all across the board. I think this should be a one-possession number. Well, I mean, do you have thoughts on it?
Yeah, that's which way I would lean. Maybe we'll want a little bit more points, but Tennessee's playing great, right?
Yeah.
And coming into last game, they were shooting the three very well. Last game, not so much, but defense really stepped up against Kentucky. Houston is one of the few teams that's shooting it better from three in the tournament than they did in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, they had a really close game against Purdue. Houston's just not that good around the rim now. It's like their offense has totally changed, where now Houston's the number one team in three-point shooting field goal percentage, where you would never think that in years past that would ever happen.
Yeah, no, Juwan Roberts is the only guy with a legitimate post move. Everybody else is just a bunch of guys that want to rebound. JoJo Tugler is a really good player, but he incredible defender, great rebounder, not the best down low in terms of touch around the basket and post moves. So, they're very guard heavy, they're very 3-point heavy, and they get a lot of second chance opportunities. But Tennessee rebounds the ball very well. They guard the perimeter very well. These are two extremely similar teams. I would argue that guard-wise, they match up very well. So Zakai Ziegler's playing incredible basketball right now. LJ Cryer's coming off of a horrific game. I don't think he's going to play that poorly. But it doesn't instill a ton of confidence when you go 2 of 13 from the floor. So, and now you got a really tough matchup with one of the best on-ball defenders in the country. So they also have size that can shoot it as well. Milicic can shoot it pretty well from the outside. Lanier's having a great tournament. I just think it's too many points. I like Houston a lot. I think Kelvin Sampson's arguably the best coach in the country. But at 3.5, I got to go Tennessee here. Just stylistically, the possessions are going to be a premium. So I'll take Tennessee plus 3.5. And then the final game, Sunday, 4 p.m. tip, Auburn versus Michigan State. Auburn's 5-point favorites. Do you have a play for this one?
Yeah.
Which way are you going?
Let me see something.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
I'm laying it with Auburn, -5. Two best teams in the country are Auburn and Duke. I'm not getting in the way of either one of them. You saw Auburn wake up in a big way last game. 12-minute stretch. I literally tweeted it out. I said this last 12 minutes is going to tell us all we need to know about this Auburn team. All the questions will be answered. Well, they didn't need 12 minutes. They went on like a 15-2 run in a 4-minute stretch before we even hit the 8-minute media timeout. Too many guards that can shoot, too much size down low. This Michigan State team is not consistent enough shooting from the perimeter, and they don't have enough size down low to really give Auburn trouble. You just saw them go toe-to-toe with 2 7-footers. So it's going to be an easier day for Janai Broome, who had a great game against a lot more size. And then if the guards are hitting from the outside, there's just way too many guys. You saw Kelly. I'll pull up his exact numbers, but from what I saw, it didn't look like Kelly had a great shooting performance. He was Yeah, no, he had yeah, I was correct. 1 of 9 from the floor, 1 of 7 from the 3-point line. The good news is Denver Jones went 4 of 7. Then you had Pettiford go 7 of 14 from the floor for 20 points. So you had 20 points out of Denver Jones, 20 points out of Pettiford. They picked up Miles Kelly, who's a very good shooter. He had a bad shooting night, but they had multiple guys that can step up whenever somebody's having an off night. So if Pettiford has a bad night, guess what? Kelly's probably not, because he shoots at 38% from the floor. It's too many shooters. And it's a team in Michigan State. They want to guard the perimeter very well. But you have size down low. Janai Broom's arguably the player of the year. You can go to him and let him go to work down low. So whether it's Zapata or whoever they want to put on him, Kohler, it doesn't matter. Kohler didn't have a good game, in my opinion. I just think there's too much for this Auburn team. And this is not a number that's going to scare me away. So I'll lay 5 points with Auburn. Which way are you going?
I kind of lean Michigan State. I don't know. Maybe we'll stay away. The thing that worries me about Auburn is they're 320th in the nation in free throw attempts allowed. That's where a bulk of Michigan State's offense comes from, is at the free throw line. 31st in the nation in free throws attempted per game, 22nd in free throw percentage. But yeah, maybe Auburn just has too much here offensively for Michigan State to get enough stops, but I think I'm going to loop around and go under 148.5.
Okay.
Yeah, you just see it too many times where Michigan State's offense kind of stalls out, and then eventually they'll go on a little bit of a run.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because of their defense keeping them in the game. So we're going to go under 148.5.
Okay. Yeah, this is an Auburn team that they turned it over a lot last game, but they typically don't. They typically take care of the ball pretty well and can force you into a good bit of turnovers. If you just look at this Michigan State team, there's just not enough shooters. Jace Richardson's good. Jace Richardson's the best shooter they have. Akins is an okay shooter, but then you've got Fears, who cannot shoot a lick. Holloman struggles from the outside. Cohen Carr can't shoot. There's just not enough people to space the floor. I think they'll have – look, Denver Jones, I've been raving about him, is one of the best on-ball defenders in the country. He's going to be on Richardson, and it's going to make life difficult. But then you have Baker Mazzara, too, who's 6'7", with long-ass arms. They have multiple looks that are going to make true freshman Jace Richardson's night tough. And I just think there's too much on the offensive side. I don't think Michigan State's going to be able to keep up in this one. Look, Auburn played Creighton close, and then they turned it on and pulled away late. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, they were up 10 when it was a tie ball game. Same thing with Michigan here. It was a close game. Michigan was in that game and winning that game for a large portion, and then all of a sudden, 12 minutes to go, they flipped the switch, and then they just blitz you. So you would imagine we're going to see same thing with the first game. Slept walk in the first half. Up until the final minute, it was of that first half, it was like a 1-point game. And then in the second half, they turned it on. So that's a lot of kind of what Michigan State wants to do. Not wants to do, but you see them go cold and then they smother you. I just don't think that they're going to be able to hold this Auburn team down on a long enough stretch offensively till they can start hitting a couple shots here. So, and at some point you would think, like you said, or what was Texas Tech overlooking Arkansas, whatever, like, have they been looking at Creighton as like, okay, we can handle Creighton? Have they been? Now it's you're a game away from the Final Four, which is where you get a whole nother experience, and you go to San Antonio and this and that. You're not going to see them, and this is Izzo. This is a team that is well known. You're not going to see them sleepwalk through this game to start. You would imagine at some point we're going to see a complete performance from Auburn. I think it'll be this game. I just don't think Michigan State has the guys. So. I will lay 5 with Auburn. So to recap, I've got no play for Texas Tech, Florida. I hope Texas Tech beats them by 1 billion. Alabama and Duke, we're going to go Duke -7 and under 175. Tennessee +3.5 and Auburn -5.
We're going Texas Tech +7.5. Alabama Duke under 175. Michigan State Auburn under 148.5.
All righty. There you go. That is our best bets for the Elite Eight. We will be back in studio next week or in the coming days for the Final Four. We're in the home stretch. Enjoy it while we got it. There's more money to be made. Do you have anything to say before we go?
Nope.
Episode 219 is in the books. Hit the like and subscribe button. We appreciate y'all, and good luck.
The house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house.
practicing this, but
A little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I
that
rushed
was
it.
good. I liked it.